All right, so today's episode is going to kind of be like me interviewing Christy.
Hi guys.
Yes, so we are talking about when you lost your period.
Yes. It's technically called hypothalamic amenorrhea.
I can't say that.
Yeah. I can't spell it. How many years am I still struggling to spell it?
Every time I talk about it, I'm like, you know that thing.
Yeah. We call it HA. We'll call it HA for short.
Okay, HA it is. All right, so let's explain what it is first.
So hypothalamic amenorrhea, or HA, is loss of menstrual cycle due to many reasons, but it's mainly you see it in a lot of athletes. It's called the female athlete triad, because you lose it because your body is stressed. Because it's either stressed because you got mental stress, physical stress, you're over exercising, or calorie deficit is too hard and you're not getting enough nutrients and or like energy, so your body thinks you're starving pretty much. So the easiest way to describe it is that your body thinks she's too stressed to have a child right now. I'm going to stop reproduction. That's one thing. But also your body goes, she doesn't have enough energy to keep her alive. What doesn't cost a lot of energy? Reproduction. So what can we get rid of that costs energy that doesn't that we can get rid of
that you don't really need right now.
They don't really need right now. So your body's like, I'm trying to keep her alive. Her heart's important. Her liver's important. Reproduction isn't important. Let's halt it. So it stops putting energy towards that to try and keep you alive.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to how you got there in the first place.
So when I was younger, I went on a little bit of a weight loss journey, but I wasn't educated in at all.
No.
This is back in how old was I? So early 2000s.
Yeah.
So I was 15. I had no idea what I was doing, and I lost weight too fast and too much. And I went ham on the exercise. I fell in love with exercise. I was doing 2-3 classes a day. I just loved it, and I didn't understand. You know what it was? I didn't understand, and I didn't know where to find information back in dial-up internet days, where you go in at calorie deficit, what happens after? So I was eating like 1,200 calories a day because that was the thing. And then after I lost my weight, I was like, what do I do now? I don't understand. There wasn't education on the maintenance period side of things.
Well, you just kept losing.
I just kept losing because I didn't know what to do.
It was a very scary period. Like I remember in my 21st birthday, there is a photo of you and you were there was nothing of you.
And this goes back to the whole psychology of, I've read into this, your brain doesn't understand weight loss. So people who lose weight will look in the mirror and see their old self, like body dysphoria, which is what happened. I did not see still saw the old me in the mirror until I saw photos of that night, and I was like this, and it was just rib cage. And I was like, that's the only time I saw myself as how I was. And that's kind of when I started being like, all right, I've got to start training, build a bit of muscle. Anyway.
Yeah. And then you got healthier.
Yeah.
And your period didn't come back. But I mean, we didn't know anything about it then. And we were like, you're so lucky.
I know.
You don't have your period.
I was loving life. Yes. I was like, what's a pad? I don't even know what a pad is. But back then we didn't have the knowledge. And so I had lost it for like 3 years. So till I was about 18. And then my mum was like, all right, we should probably go to the doctors. We went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, put her on the pill. Because there wasn't much, nobody knew what it was. And I was like, I'm not going on the pill. So actually, I think I didn't go on the pill. He goes, come back to me when you're 21.
Yeah.
Because he goes, you don't want to have a baby right now, so don't
wasn't
worry.
It more like come back when you're ready to have a baby?
Yeah. But then I was 21, and I was like, Mum, like, I don't know what's going on. My period is not coming back. Like, I'm a bit worried.
Yeah, so you did have it for a little bit.
Yeah, I had it for like 2 years because I got it when I was 13.
Yes. We didn't mention that.
Yeah, because
she had it and then lost it.
Yeah, there's 2 types. There's primary amenorrhea, which you don't get it, you've never had it. Then there's secondary, which is what I had. Anyway, so then I was 21, went straight to the doctor. He was like, I don't know, go on the pill. That's all they could tell me was go on the pill. And they didn't tell me the side effects that could happen, which will go into like the long-term effects of not having a period. But anyway, a lot of these doctors just say, put them on the pill, and it covers the symptoms, not the cause.
Yeah.
And there is actually a post-pill amenorrhea when you come off the pill and then you lose your period. Oh, so there's the third one. So next question.
Yes. So, all right. So we've done, you had it, you lost it. We all thought it was cool that you were lucky. Like, I remember being so jealous of you not having it. Then doctor was like, put her on the pill. You didn't want to do that. You got a bit older. And then it didn't really bother you until you got into a relationship.
Yeah, because I was kind of like, I was, doing CrossFit and that. So, and I was a power lifter, so not having my period was great. But in the interim, I did start to get worried. So we went to the menopause clinic in Sydney, and this is the first time I was actually diagnosed with hypothalamic amenorrhea. So he was like, I walked into a menopause clinic at the age of like 24, and they were like, well, "What are you doing here?" Anyway, he's like, "You have HA," and me and my mum were like, "Finally, we have answers."
Yeah, the relief to have an answer instead of all these doctors just fobbing you off.
Exactly. And then because I had gone on the pill prior to this for a bit, and it was so bad. I was having panic attacks, anxiety attacks. Because
this must be a thing in our family. We can't handle the pill.
The pill, it was so bad. Like I think about it though, not even just because of the side effects of the pill, but I haven't had hormones for many years, so I was constantly happy.
You were, when everything did sort itself out, dealing with her once her hormones came in.
Think about it. Think about you prepubescent. Everything's sunshine and rainbows. You don't have this big swings of estrogen, progesterone. Then you have these mood swings. And to be thrown into that at the age of like 24, 25, when you haven't had that for so long, it's kind of just like your body's like, what is happening? Like I can't explain how. I remember I was driving home one day. This is when I was like, I'm done. At the time, my poor partner at the time, some days I couldn't even look at him. Other days I was like, come give me a hug. Other days I was like, I hate you for no reason.
Love me, hug
me. But love me. It was crazy. And I remember one day I had a panic attack and I was driving home and I felt like I was in a movie scene. I was hysterically crying for no reason.
Was it raining?
Yep. And it was torrential rain.
Was it really?
And I'm driving, listening to sad music.
I was going to say, what was the song?
Yeah, listening to sad music, like crying my eyes out.
I shouldn't laugh, but like seeing you.
It's so, I laugh now, and it was 1 o'clock in the morning, and I walked into my mum's, she was with her husband, that husband at the time, and I walked I opened the door, and I'm like, Mom! I can't do it anymore! And she's like, Chrissy, get off the pill right now! You're off! And I literally the next day never took it again.
Yeah, it does, it makes you... I remember being on the pill when I was younger, like say like 17, 18, and I was fine. And then I got off it for a while and then I tried it again in my mid-20s. It made me emotional, bleeding in between periods, the bloating, the weight gain, like the skin breakouts. It screwed up everything. So I got off it. It took a long time for everything to like get back into, a rhythm. But anyway, back to you. Okay.
And then I went to the menopause clinic and was put on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, because the doctor was worried about my bones. He's like, all right, look, we're not going to give you a cycle. There's no point. He's like, but we're going to give you enough hormones just to keep you like healthy.
Yeah, but you need to go into the bones thing. Why?
So estrogen protects your bones. So if you don't have estrogen, that's you're more likely your bone density starts to decrease over time. That's why a lot of women after premenopause, bones become an issue because you don't have estrogen to protect them. I did not know that at the time, did I? No. So he did give me HRT, and then I went and saw someone and I started increasing my calories, and then I started getting too much estrogen because my body started producing it. But then I started doing F45. No shame to F45. But I started training again. I got addicted again. And it all went backwards. So I lost heaps of weight through F45 and I was about to go to America. So I was like, whatever, I'll put on the weight in America. It was just a vicious cycle. And then I jumped off the HRT and then I was like, okay, now I have to get my period back naturally.
Okay, so I feel like we need to like get this timeline out a bit better. So got your period at 13, lost it at 15.
Yeah.
18, you went to the doctors?
Yes.
And then how old were you when you did went to the premenopause clinic?
Oh, I was like 22, 23.
Okay. So then at what point, because you even went to an IVF clinic, didn't you?
That was later. Yeah, that was when I was trying to get it back. Yeah. So I started trying to get it back at 25, 26.
Okay, so at 21, 22, you went to the doctors. They told you to go on the pill. You didn't want to. Then you went to the menopause clinic. They got you on the hormone replacement.
Mm-hmm.
Then your body started producing its own. Why was it producing its own? What were you doing at that point?
I started eating more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at that point, were you starting to gain the weight?
Yeah, I think I'd gained like 2 kilos. No, but not the full weight. No, because then I lost it again.
Okay, so you gained a little bit of weight.
Yes.
So your body started producing its own estrogen.
Yes.
Then you started training F45 just before you went to America.
Yes.
Okay, so you went to America.
Yes.
And then when you came back from America?
That's when kind of things were getting serious between me and my partner at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should probably... And I started doing more research into amenorrhea and the effects. And it was giving me a lot of anxiety.
Okay, so did you feel like once you got given the answer saying you did have HA, you'd never really delved into the side effects or anything? It's just because you had an answer, you were kind of like, okay, I'll sort it out later?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know how to fix it. It was kind of like, he's like, have some HRT, you'll be fine.
Yeah, but it's like now, okay, now I've got an answer. We can resolve this at some point.
Yeah. And because for me, the resolving was HRT.
Yeah,
you know what
okay,
I mean?
that's you thought it would fix the problem.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So then I did more research into it, and then I was like, oh no, I have probably done a lot of damage to my body. So then I went and got a bone density scan, and my back, okay, so with bone density, you want to be a plus. And minus 2.5, remember this, minus 2.5 is osteoporosis. Mm-hmm. My back was 2.4. My hips were, minus 2.4. My hips were minus 7 at that time. And I just remember sitting in the hospital. I'm getting emotional. I just remember sitting in the hospital. I was just like, holy shit, like, what have I done? It was just like, what have I done to my body? But I didn't know at the time, but it was just like, the guilt that you feel because you did it yourself. Like, you didn't know, but the guilt that you feel is just next level. And I just remember sitting in the middle of St. George Hospital, just crying on a chair.
Okay, you're going to make us both cry on your chair.
And I was so scared. I was like, I am one step away from osteoporosis in my 20s. It was a really scary time for me. And that's when I was like, okay, it's now or never. I need to get my period back. I need to fix this. And then there was another time I read into what it can do to your brain. And that just was next level. Like, because the effects they don't know. The theory is estrogen also protects your brain, so it could affect your brain in some way. The fear of that was next level, and then the infertility of it. It was just one thing on top of the other, and I was like, all right, I'm done. And I was a competitive powerlifter at the time, so I was doing really well in my sport. And then I went to the doctor. I'm like, I read into it. And I had to completely stop exercising.
When she says that she was doing really well, how many world records did you have?
I had 10 world records in powerlifting. I'd won the world championships. Powerlifting was my identity. I loved it so much. And it was my escape of life. Like, it was my thing. You know, everyone has their thing. Is it painting or whatever? Mine was powerlifting. My community was powerlifting. My friends were powerlifters. And then I had to completely cold turkey stop all training. I'd been training for 12 years. Stop all training. I put on 8 kilos altogether. So I had to just go for walks. I had to put on 8 kilos. I had to watch myself become a softer, like, unfit, like, not strong version of myself. And it was so hard because my whole life had been fitness and health and nutrition, and to put on, just like, consciously put on 8 kilos, watch all my clothes not fit me anymore. Like, you know, I had lost the weight and kept it off for so many years, and to have to do the total opposite of that. Like, I would cry in the shower, not like because I was like, I can't do the one thing that I love so much, which is powerlifting. I know that sounds so lame, but it was my thing. It was my hobby. It was my increasing my self-efficacy and everything.
No, it was for your mental health. It was such like it's like powerlifting held you together.
It did. It held me together. Like, so to give that up was so hard, but I knew that I had to. Like, there was no way out of it. It's like either that or I lose all my bones. I not be able to have kids. Who knows what will happen to my heart too, because hormones protect your heart. Like, it was just, I had to do it, so I did it. It took me a while though to get it back, which you'll ask me about.
Yes. Okay. So we know why you lost it. Mm-hmm. So to get it back, you gained the 8 kilos.
Yes.
Was there anything else you had to do except for gain weight?
So the thing with amenorrhea, that it could be different reasons. We don't actually know what caused it. Like, you know, in terms of Was it, or just mental stress? Was it the over-exercising? Was it the being
So
underweight?
you putting on the 8 kilos, this was just you guessing that was what the problem was.
Because one of the main reasons for amenorrhea too is being underweight.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but my doctor said I had to get to 53, but I could not go over 54.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't
I
healthy.
just want to say something with her mentioning kilos.
Yeah.
We are very small peoples.
We're midgets.
We're not that small, but like we are around the 150 centimeter mark. So that is the weight that we are in the 40s. It is a healthy weight range for us.
Well, my doctor said you cannot go over 54 kilos because he's like, for your height, that is unhealthy.
Yes.
So he's like, I was at that stage I was 51, so I'd gone from 46, 47 to 51, and he's like, I need you at 53.
Yeah. And you were doing this, going through like the mental side of it, of putting on that weight and not training everything, not actually knowing if this was going to solve the problem.
Yeah, I had no idea. So I was just going, all I was allowed to do was go for walks because you had to reduce stress. So I had to go for walks, I had to put on the weight, I had to not, I had to eat more fats, good fats, increase my fat intake because fats make hormones, increase my carb intake. Pretty much, yeah, I was eating 2,000 calories a day, two, which for us is a lot for our size.
We normally sit around to maintain normally about the 1,600 calories.
Yeah. So I was eating, and yeah, that was pretty much the recipe to try and get it back because I was pretty much shooting in the dark. But I had gone into forums and read books and stuff about HA. So a lot of the forums helped so much. If anybody out there is listening, go and look at No Period Now What and look at her forum. It helped so much. She not only has a While You're Recovering Facebook forum, which helped so much. She has a post-period when you get it back forum.
Yeah, I just want to say it's amazing how many messages we get from women who suffer from this.
Oh,
it's
so
a
many.
lot.
It's a lot. It's scary, the amount of people I get messaging me and how young they are.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about it, which is why I'm like, no, we're going to talk about this. This is going to be a topic, a normal topic that we need to talk about. It's not healthy to not have your period.
All right. So how long did it take to get it back?
So when I was getting it back, so do you want to talk about the IVF thing?
Yeah.
Come later. Because it's kind of while I was trying to get it back.
Yeah, go.
So was I engaged then? Oh, what? We were.
Maybe.
I don't.
Either way, it didn't work out. Irrelevant.
Yeah. Thank you next. So I knew not having a period, obviously I didn't ovulate. So we were getting serious and I was like, all right, I need to see if I can get pregnant because if I couldn't give this person a family, I would have left them. I know some people find that selfish.
Isn't that more selfless?
I know, but some people, anyway, I think it's selfish in a way that it could be up to both of us, not just him.
Yeah. Okay.
But I feel like when you're in that scenario, you would also be selfless. So I know how family orientated that person was. So I'm like, if I couldn't have kids, you can move on to the next and be happy with little kids. So we went to IVF, primary IVF, which I love this country so much. It was bulk billed. And I walked in there. I gave everything. I got tested for everything. And I said to her...
Did they test him too?
Yeah. They tested both of us. I said to her, I'm like, am I here prematurely? Like, we're not ready to have kids yet. I just want to make sure. She's like, no, Christy. I wish my clients came when you did. Because a lot of people have issues like this, like PCOS, all these hormonal issues. And then when they come to us, it's when they want to have kids, not knowing that they should have come 2 years prior to fix themselves getting ready to have kids. You know what I mean? So she's
doesn't happen overnight.
Exactly. My clients stick their head in the sand, exact words, and they don't want to think about it until it's at that time. So I'm like, okay, sweet. So she got everything tested. She's like, look, from a biomechanical way, everything's there. So I said, but I remember going to her, but what about my eggs? So my eggs have been just chilling there.
So they're in there, they're just not releasing.
Well, I said to her, I'm like, how does that work? She goes, it's kind of like you've been on the pill this whole time. Oh. So your eggs just chill in there and do nothing. She goes, I go, what about the quality?
So hold on. Does that mean that now that you have your period, will you hit menopause later because you got more eggs that were never used?
I don't know. That's a good question that I do not know. Because she goes, because I got that test done where they check how many eggs you've got.
Do you know how many you have?
Yeah, so the scale is like 52 and I was on like 47, 48, which is really good. So like,
so maybe you'll hit menopause later.
I don't know. Hopefully, I want to have hormones for as long as possible. So yeah, she goes, you get heaps of eggs in there, follicles are there, everything's like there. She goes, I'm like, what about the quality of the eggs? Because I was worried. I'm like, because they haven't been used.
Yeah.
Well, she's like, we can't tell you that. That's just like, we're gonna have to wait till you have babies. So I was like, all right, that's fine. But as long, everything was there. I just had to get my period back, and I think look, the timeline's really. I think I tried to like delete this time of my life out of my brain. But the 2 years, it took me 2 years to get them regular. I think in the first like 6 months, I had one period. It was very, very light. That's right. I had one period. It was very, very light. Like I remember. Oh my god! Remember I sent you the photo. I sent Mum and Nikki a photo. I'm like, is this a period? So yeah, I got my first period. Had a period party.
Yeah.
Everyone had to come and wear red. It was pretty fun. Highly recommend when you're getting your period back. And then after that, it was 3 months. Then another 3 months. And it was very, very, very light. But it was there.
It was something.
It was something. And I got blood tests, and like my estrogen had started going up. My FSH and LH, which are the hormones you should get checked, which is follicle stimulating hormone. All those started to come back to life. But you got to also remember, I forgot to mention, your brain remembers what you've done to it. I know, human body, right? So the minute I either reduced my calories or was stressed, it would revert back.
Yeah.
So you got to take that into account.
So how long did you have to keep the weight on to keep your periods coming before you could start losing weight again?
Look, my doctor wanted me to keep it on for 2 years, like to keep them regular. They say like to have them regular for 2 years, then you can start to lose the weight.
Did you wait that long?
Yeah.
Was it 2 years?
Yeah.
God, that went quick.
Yeah. But you got to remember, this for people who are going through it, you will be really swollen. Like I look at photos now, and a kilo wise, like even towards the end, I looked heavier at the start, even though I was lighter than at the end because of the swelling. Like my face was swollen. I think your body's going through a lot. Your hypothalamic, your hypothalamus is starting to send messages to your ovaries to do stuff. Things happening, like everything's happening, everything's going on. You're getting hormones back. They're all over the shop. So just remember, you will be swollen. I look at photos and I'm like, damn girl.
Yeah, it's like you had a lot of water retention.
So much water retention, even in my arms, everywhere. I didn't see it at the time, so I didn't look at the mirror. I didn't have a mirror in my room.
Yeah.
But don't, just keep that in mind, and you will just get rid of the scale. I didn't touch a scale for 4 years. Don't look at the scale.
Yeah. Okay, so you waited the 2 years, and then were you scared to start losing the weight?
Yes, I was so scared. I remember when I was like, I remember it was November 1st, and I was like, all right, I'm done. Now it's ready to do it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. And I remember that month, like waiting for my period to come, and I'm like, waiting, and it came. So I was.
Yeah, all of us were on.
I know, we're all very scared. Because again, your brain remembers. So I was in a slight deficit. I'm talking like I was losing 200 grams a month. Like that's how slow I went. So I was just like, tick, 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 tick. But then, I'd gone back to training in that time.
Yeah.
So I had gone back to training, to powerlifting. I just made sure I slowly went back into it, and I was eating a lot. So just FYI. I actually got my 120 kilo deadlift during that time. Sneaky brag. So I started losing it really slow to the point where like my partner at the time didn't even notice. I'm like, I noticed I've lost like 8 kilos, but it was so slow over time. You get used to. I had lost the weight, and I'm still now had lost it, kept it off, and I still have a period.
Okay, so in the time of losing weight, did it make your periods irregular at all in that period, even though you did it really slowly?
See, yes and no, because we don't know if it was because they were regular for the whole of that year, and then towards the end, it was gotten the
jabby jab,
and then I was exposed to said thing, and then my period went away for 4 months.
Yeah.
But a lot of women at the same time were saying the same thing. After they got the jabby jab, their periods had gone irregular for a while. So that's the only time it's ever.
Yeah. So what about if because there was like a very, very, very stressful period a few years prior to the COVID.
Oh.
Going through severe stress, did that do anything to your period?
I don't remember, to be honest. I don't think it did.
No?
I think it still was pretty regular. But you got to remember, one thing I want to tell everyone this, and I've learned, everyone's on the pill. Nobody knows what is normal. So my period...
See, I don't think that though. Like,
no, but my period was like 21 days, like 19, 21 days. Like,
no, but saying like I don't feel like a lot of people are on the pill anymore.
okay, well, back in the day. So what I mean
We
by
just
that,
have like a general idea that your period comes every 21 days, every 28 days. Like they're the norms.
yeah, so 28 days is the average, but nobody told you that. So when I would have a period that was 21 days, then I'd have a period that was 35 days, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'd freak myself out. But then I'd go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, no, 21 to 45 is the average.
Yeah.
So you might have a week where you got the flu, you might skip it, and that's fine. You know what I mean? But I didn't know that. I thought it was 28 days. If you don't have it every 28 days, there's something wrong with you. But it's not. You'll have it all over the shop.
Yeah. Well, even like me this month, like normally I'm like 32 days on the dot. This month, 29 days.
Yeah, I was last month.
Which I'm actually glad because we've got the thing next week and I didn't want to have a period.
So I was like 21 days, 9 to 21 days. And then it went out, it blew out to like 45 days. That period was really, really heavy. And then it went back. So it's like, and you find you have like a flow, like one light, one heavy, one light, one heavy. So
yeah, I feel like I don't know why, but every second month is always really heavy, bad period pain, so emotional. Where the other month, like the month now, like I don't really even notice I have it.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so next question. Supplements do you take?
Okay, so I was taking Vitex for a while, which is one that people recommend highly when you're going through that, and rhodiola, which is an adaptogen. It's a herbal supplement that helps your body deal with stress, and L-theanine, which also helps your body deal with stress. Don't know how well that they worked. I find that doing what I said worked better, but I feel like magnesium is someone, if you're trying to get your period back, you should be taking.
Really?
A multivitamin and magnesium.
Okay, why?
Well, magnesium helps everything in your body. 300 different enzymatic reactions are caused because of magnesium, and it also helps relax your body, relax your muscles, helps with heart rate. It's so many things.
No, since you got me to start taking that, it's a super magnesium one. Like I have it before bed. If I don't have it, I notice.
Yeah, exactly. And also multivitamin, because you want to make sure your body's getting all the nutrients it needs whilst going through such a big thing.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any foods that are good for HA?
I would just, again, fats. Don't be scared of fats. Don't be scared of carbs. Like carbs and fats will be your best friend. Obviously, protein is a given. Make sure you have enough protein. But a lot of women I find that are going through this either have EDs or things like that. They're scared of carbs. They're scared of fats. You need them.
Yeah. I would say the majority of the women that message us with this problem, they're underweight.
Yeah.
So what if someone's overweight and they've lost their period, what would you suggest?
Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. Please speak to your doctor before taking any advice. But if it's obviously not because of being underweight, is not the issue. As I said before, there's many different reasons why. Like you could have a bacterial infection and get amenorrhea for a short period of time. You know what I mean? Like a lot of girls who do bodybuilding comps lose it and get it back, amenorrhea. But if it's obviously something else going on, either you are over-exercising and it's causing too much stress to your body, or you're going through too much mental stress. So you got to figure out what is happening and what is causing, because at the end of the day, it's all stress related.
Yeah.
Think about it. You're not eating enough, stress to the body. Over-exercising, stress to the body. Over-exercising, stress to the body. Mental stress is stress to the body. So it's something to do with that.
Stress, actually we should do a whole podcast on this, but I have learnt in the past year what stress can actually do to you.
Exactly. Your body doesn't know the difference between mental stress and physical stress.
Yes.
So if you're going through mental stress, your body pretty much thinks you're being run over by a truck.
Yes.
Like,
we will do a whole another podcast on that.
Yes.
But let's talk about the mental side of HA and the getting it back, the recovery, the whole.
Yes. So look, you have to be mentally ready. Like you have to accept that your body will change and your lifestyle will change. Like you have to be at that point, kind of like when you're going through a weight loss journey. You have to be at that breaking point where something's got to give. It's either that or a heart attack, that or a stroke. For me, it's either that or I can't have kids and I have osteoporosis by 30. So it needs to be something that outweighs the fear of that outweighs the change.
Yeah, I feel like that's with a lot of things in life.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you got to be at that.
There has to be. Mum's always said it. Like it's like even like leaving a relationship, or, starting your weight loss journey, there has to be something that is that breaking point moment that just tips you over that edge.
Yeah. So, but what I find with a lot of people who message me and ask me about it, they're just like, they still make excuses for themselves. Like, oh, I'm in a deficit, but like, no, I'm trying to get my period back, but I just need to be in a deficit for this week. It's like, no.
Yeah, they're not ready to go through the change that's going to happen to their body.
Yeah.
Which is the scary thing.
And you need to, one thing, get as much support as you can. Like, there was days, shout out to Alex, my best friend, that I would be like, novel messages or just like me being so upset about something, like my clothes not fitting me, or you just need that reassurance that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and why you're doing it. It's so important to have everybody on board with what you're doing.
See, in saying that, like, I don't know if you want to cut this part out, but I feel like you kind of did it tough because I don't feel like your partner at the time was very supportive of the weight gain.
We're not cutting this shit out. He was not. He was not.
Yeah.
And what pissed me off the most was I was also going through a lot of mental things with it. So I was very hyper vigilant in terms of like anything that was happening on with my body. I would be anxious about it because I didn't know what was going on. Like, imagine being told you're nearly at osteoporosis. It was a very stressful time, and he was not there for me. And to blame that, I'm not going to go into that part, but he didn't understand that I was doing it for us, pretty much, so we could have a family. And like, he kind of did not make me feel beautiful at all.
Yeah.
He made me feel ugly. He made me feel like, I'm sorry to say, he made me feel fat. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, the self-worth that I had was gone. Like, and then because you took powerlifting away from me, it was a very hard time for me to deal with that because I had no identity anymore. My identity was gone. My self-confidence was gone. Everything was gone. I was just stripped back to nothing. And I was just an anxious pile of nothing. And I had amazing friends and family at the time, which got me through that. And that's what I'm saying. You have to be ready. Like, I wish I could go back now and hug myself and tell myself that everything's going to be okay and that you can do this. Like, so you need to make sure that you have people there that will hug you and say to you, you can do this, and will love you no matter what. Sorry.
Crying like
sorry.
Look, I think you did it tough, but you did it.
Yeah, I knew I could do it. I'm very, when it comes to me, if I have a goal in mind, I won't stop till I get it.
It's true. Can vouch.
Yeah. So I appreciate my personality in that point of like, I won't stop till I get somewhere. So I'm so glad I did, because positives is my period is back, and also, as I said before, about my bones. So I went back and got another bone scan, and my bones went from minus 2.4 my back to minus 1.6 density. So we're coming towards the plus. And my hips went from minus 0.7 to plus 0.6. So my hips are now out of the danger zone, which is amazing.
But you still, you're due for one soon.
Yes, I am due for one. I still haven't gone for one because it's the trauma response. Like, it's remembering that day that I sat in the hospital crying, like going into that machine. I don't know if I'm ready for it. And my doctor's very aware. I love my doctor. He's very supportive. Make sure you have a supportive doctor.
You have a good doctor.
He's so amazing.
Yeah.
And he was just like, it was due last March, and he's like, we're not doing it until you're ready. Not ready yet. No, I don't want to, kind of like you don't want to know, but he goes, there is no reason why your bones wouldn't be any better. Like, he's like, if anything, I'll be surprised. Like, I'm expecting them to be way better. So, but I'm still not ready.
You will do it.
Sorry,
when
doctor.
Ready.
Yeah.
So on the other side of this, you did your time.
I did.
You did the hard yards.
I did.
You now have a regular period.
Yes.
You're getting married.
I am.
You're going to give me nephews and nieces.
I am.
Hanging for it. I need to smell some fresh baby.
Yes. But I just want anyone who's going through the same thing to understand that you are not alone. We are here to support you through it. There is support out there. There is help out there, and you can get through it too. Like, you got to remember, mine was kind of a different case because it was a long time. It was 10 years that my body hadn't. But they say, like, the shorter you've had amenorrhea, the quicker your period comes back.
And back then, like, we didn't have things like social media. Like, you can type that into TikTok now and there's people talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So appreciate that, understand that, and know that, like, your health is your wealth. It's number one. So look after that first.
Yes. That's it for today's episode.
Sorry about that, guys, for the tears.
I know.
Got a bit emotional
Jesus
today.
Christ.
But you know, we're here. It's behind the shakes because this is the real us. You can't get any more real.
Every time my little sister cries, I cry. It's like a thing. I'm like probably the only person who's ever cried at a powerlifting comp.
Yeah, that's some powerlifting. Good times.
All right. Well, thanks for watching and listening.
Let us know.